beginning in the National Football League where, we were saying this on Friday and kind of throughout the latter part of last week. I didn't really hear too many people make the case for the Cowboys in that game on the road against the Bills before the weekend actually got here. And then the reports came out. I know Jay Glazer had this, Gilmore with an illness, Cooks with an illness, although he was out there on the field, Dan Quinn infected by it, potentially up to 10 Cowboys. And it looked like it yesterday. I mean, I kind of want to go nuts a little bit with how Buffalo looked yesterday because it was so dominant and they were outstanding. And James Cook and the defense and the running game, I mean, all of it was so good. Cowboys on the flip side, a lot of guys were sick. So, and tons of people love Buffalo, and it got there, and that was one of the easiest bets of the entire year.
Yes, what a performance to get him on the ground for 260 yards. I mean, that was vomit-inducing for their fans. So the whole team, a lot of the guys were sick, and then the fans were nauseous afterwards. How about how they're just blowing them off the ball and dominating the line of scrimmage? It's just easy. 5 yards, 6 yards. Allen, no problem. I mean, Allen doesn't have to throw the ball. And they run him out. But if all these guys are sick, why are the starters in the game down 31-3?
That's exactly what I was asking myself. When they had 92 yards of offense, Micah Parsons had to leave the game at one point because of his own teammate threw a Buffalo Bills player into his knee. It's a total blowout. And I'm thinking, get him off the field, everybody. What are you doing here? There's no reason to have all those guys on the field right now.
And it makes no sense to keep them in the game, score a touchdown, then you don't go onside.
Yeah, exactly right.
And they just run the clock out. So, now I'm here for the Buffalo hype and the Buffalo power rating. So that dominant performance, and remember, they beat Miami at home by 30. So they might be the best team in the AFC or right behind Baltimore. I know Ben Fawkes reached out to an odds maker who goes San Francisco, Baltimore, and then the Bills with his power ratings. But it's possible that this team that doesn't even make the playoffs because they lose every tiebreaker. Head-to-head, and their conference record is lousy. So you lay in 14 Saturday night, you play the Patriots at home, and I hope the division is on the line, Week 18 at Miami. But they're playing great football, but this could be the ultimate what could have been season when you blew the game Week 1 on Monday night when Rodgers got hurt and Allen had 3 interceptions and they have the walk-off punt return. You somehow allowed 29 points and lost to Mac Jones. You lost to Denver by 2. You blew the Philadelphia game. This team should be the 1 seed. How many games they gave away. But, Dorsey gets fired. Allen's now taking off and running. And it's just refreshing. Where was this for much of the season? Shame on McDermott. I don't care who's sick. That was a great performance. Nice job by Buffalo. They had to have it.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, they could be, in 2 weeks from today, we could be talking about a team that's 10-6 going to play Miami for the final game of the regular season, the way it's setting up, as you said, because they have, they're huge favorites this weekend in LA against the Chargers. They should get revenge against the Patriots at home the week after that. I love what the coaching staff recognized yesterday, Paulie, to your point. It was 5, 6, 7 or more yards per crack, and Cook could not be stopped. He was a man on a mission. Once you realized that the offensive line was going to create holes and Cook was going to have that kind of a game, there's no reason for Allen to pass the ball. He only threw it 15 times in the game. Mm-hmm. It's the most that they've ever ran the football with Josh Allen. It's the most over expectations in a football game they've ever done that on the ground as well. There's no reason. Why throw it up in the air? Why have Josh Allen drop back to pass against a team that has the best pressure rate in football and chance anything? There isn't. It's 25 carries for 179 yards, and it was right down their throat for 3 hours.
Yep.
And there was nothing the Cowboys could do about it.
Yep. It's also been 3 years of this. You're allowed to run the ball. So pass happy. So great job by Brady and a great job by the Bills. And again, they have no problems going to Kansas City and winning. Done it 3 times. So you already won at Kansas City. You outplayed Philly and should have won that game. You dominated Miami and you destroyed the Cowboys. So the other angle is what do you do with Dallas, who is they're now under 500 on the road. Great at home, but been outscored now on the road, and they have a losing record, and they have the huge game Sunday against Miami.
That's massive.
It is.
Now, the division is still in play if the Eagles lose this game tonight against Seattle. So that can still happen, meaning the Cowboys would then get a home playoff game.
Yeah, highly unlikely, though, because they close with the Giants and
I
Arizona.
know. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yes, right.
Beyond this with the Eagles schedule, too, getting the Giants twice. So it should be their division. But tonight's going to be dicey. We'll get into that game coming up here in a little bit. And as for the Sunday night game, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars, before the Monday night game against the Bengals a couple of weeks back, they were minus 20,000 to make the playoffs. Not minus 2,000.
You've been all over this. Great
minus
call.
20,000 to make the playoffs.
What a choke job this has become.
What a disaster in the first half.
How about the Colts 20-1 to win the division a couple weeks ago? This is wild. We have a 3-way tie now.
Yeah.
And they've lost 3 in a row. And to add insult to injury, Lawrence is in the concussion protocol, and they go to Tampa in a game they have to have. They close with Carolina at home and go to Tennessee. So they should still be okay there. That should be at least 10 wins. But this is ridiculous. They're beating themselves. Silly turnovers, McManus missing field goals, and just Baltimore running it down their throats and no answer. So you lose to Flacco. You blow the Monday night game against Browning, and here you are now. And this is the Colts are that game week 18. Whoever wins that Indy-Houston game can win the division now. I can't believe how this is the turn of events, what's happened in this division.
Right, and I think the winner of that game, if that is actually how it plays out and it comes to fruition, that needs to be the coach of the year then.
I agree.
It's going to have to come down to Ryans and Steichen.
Yeah.
And the way it started last night, 4 consecutive, think about this, 4 drives in a row for Jacksonville going into halftime. They got down to the 32-yard line, missed a field goal. It was a 50-yarder, right? The next drive, after McManus has that one drift out right white, hey, you know what I'm comfortable with? I'm okay with sending him back out there to try like a 56-yard field goal. Oh, he missed that one. It wasn't even close. So then you handed Baltimore back-to-back, possessions with really good starting field position. Then you get down to the 20. How did Lawrence fumble that ball?
Not even touched.
It just slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
And then the way they ended the half with the running of the clock, and they had no idea what the situation, and guy could not get out of bounds. It was a good tackle. They get down to the Baltimore 5-yard line, and that's it. They don't have time. There's no timeouts, no time to run a play, and that's how they go to halftime.
Yep. Think about this now. They weren't on Monday Night Football for like 14 years. They get the home game on Monday Night Football. Can't stop Browning, blow that game, right? In play as high as a 17.5-point favorite. You're in position to get the 1 seed. You go to Cleveland, you can't stop Flacco. And then you're on Sunday Night Football for, I think, the first time in 14 years. And you score 7 points, and that's what happens. So it's a total debacle for Jacksonville. On the flip side, I like this Baltimore team, and it's old school football. We're going to run it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And solid defense. But you lose Mitchell for the season now. I mean, you lose Andrews, and now you lose this guy, and that's devastating, as you saw what happened with the leg. So he's likely done for the year. And likely was great, and it was a great win for Baltimore, but please don't tell me, because their schedule is, like they talked about it numerous times, they go to San Francisco on Christmas. I can't believe the spread. The Niners only 5. And then they have Miami at home. So, peekaboo, Mahomes and Andy Reid are sitting there because they have the tiebreaker because they only have 2 conference losses. Don't tell me they're going to get the 1 seed now. Oh, God.
Well, the way the schedule lines up for them.
Yeah, because they don't play. Yeah, they played cupcakes the rest of the way.
Well, I mean,
what Baltimore, and who knows? Maybe they beat Miami at home, and it's much ado about nothing. But it's still, the Pittsburgh game is no gimme, even though they should win it. But this team, who knows what their record could be? They blew the Colts game, they blew the Steeler game, and they blew the Browns game. Although they shouldn't have beat the Rams. So it's a good team. I think they're well coached. But if they slip up here, the door's open for Kansas City to do this again.
Remember, first it was Jacksonville, the team that the networks were pumping up, going to get the 1 seed. Oh, they've lost 3 straight. Remember, if they beat the Bengals a couple of weeks back on Monday night, they would have been 9-3 and in first place. Okay, that's not happening. Then it was Miami. Look at this. Win here. On Monday Night Football, they're going to be the 1 seed. What they do, they blew a 14-point lead late at home to Tennessee, and that team looked awful yesterday.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.